the CEO of Hasbro had a chance to tell the world and explain why they're making so much money. And the answer is Magic. Magic the Gathering. Hasbro stock is up. They are raking in the bucks. People are getting paid nice fat bonuses because Magic the Gathering is doing great. Let's pull it up. Well, check that out. Stock price today is down. The last 5 days, look at that. Look at that nice bump. Nice like 10 whatever percent bump. And it's come back down a little bit, but this is the result. Oh, I guess they're down past 6 months. This is the result of a earnings call and announcements that they have been making great money, and they attribute that to Magic the Gathering. And they in fact rose projections for why they're making so much money. And sorry, they're not raising projections for why. They're raising projections for how much they're going to make in the future because of Magic. Yeah, here we go. Magic momentum. According to AI, growth was overwhelmingly driven by a 27% revenue surge in its Wizards of the Coast and digital gaming segment. Yeah, Magic the Gathering franchise grew 32%, fueled heavily by successful releases like Marvel Superheroes. There you go. There you have it. Successful releases. Well, Chris Cox hopped on Bloomberg and had an interview. I did not know that this was what Chris Cox looked like. I am learning new things. And he had a conversation about the company, and I had a couple of thoughts from that conversation. You can go check it out yourself. It's a short video. It might even be shorter than my thoughts, but maybe not, because there's only two things. There's two things I want to talk about. The first one, Magic's doing well. Magic's doing well, and they're expected to continue to do well. The fact that they raised expectations on earning from Magic the Gathering and as a company suggests that they believe they're going to make more money in the future than they are making now. There's going to be growth, which is the expectation for a growth stock. Well, how could they do that? How can they make more money? They have to print and sell more booster boxes. That's it. They have to print and sell more booster boxes, and they might need to make like more products or something, but at the end of the day, they just need to sell more booster boxes. What does that mean? More cards. Not quantity, not like a different cards. I mean, next year, there's only 6 sets coming out, where this year there are 7. There might be less brand new, functionally unique cards coming out, but there's going to be more cardboard than ever before. This is why I get skeptical that a set like The Hobbit is going to hold $180 Playbox price tag. Yes, I know there's a box topper in it. Yes, I know the cards are the coolest things ever. But for them to hit these revenue targets, there's got to be more boxes than ever before. And not necessarily for The Hobbit, but in a whole, they need to be printing more and have more play and maybe even more collector and more supplemental products than ever before. There's going to be more. And there's kind of two implications for this. One is that product should become more available unless the player base and demand is outstretching it, which is possible. We could be bringing in more players for something like Marvel Superheroes. They could be printing more, but be bringing in more players and more demand such that it outstretches it and pushes prices up. And maybe that's what's going to happen for The Hobbit. Maybe the Hobbit Play booster box will go to $220 or something like that at release because the demand is just so high. That is possible, but we know that they're raising supply. The second thought is around opportunity. If Wizards sees so much potential in Magic and so much opportunity for growth that they're willing to promise to investors these kind of higher expectations, there's opportunity for you too. I mean, think about so much of the money that exists in the Magic economy is not for Wizards. It's for distribution partners in game stores and for dirty scalpers and backpack sellers. It's for you and me, frankly. If Wizards is experiencing tremendous growth such that collector booster boxes are coming out and able to be scalped for, $600 and resold for $800 or whatever, then that's just opportunity for somebody. Maybe it's opportunity, like the secret lair queue is an opportunity, right? You just click and hope and pray that that you're the one who's actually going to get the cards. But there's opportunity. There's just more people that want cardboard than ever before. That's what we're signaling. Business is booming. That's the vibe. And so it's interesting. A lot to think about, a lot of implications. But the reality is that if you want to have a side hustle or a main hustle or a business that relies on Magic the Gathering for making money, Hasbro's saying there's no better time than now because things are booming. Things are growing. The second part of his video that I wanted to touch on was he was actually Chris Cox, the CEO of Hasbro and, leader figure, so to speak, of Wizards of the Coast, was asked about the K-shaped economy. And this is, I think, a favorite talking point, which is this idea that the economy, there's people that are doing poorly, that are on the bottom half of the K-shape, that are going downhill. Their income and revenue is not keeping up with their expenses, and they're just on a path for financial disaster. And then there's this upward K-shape, which those on the upper half of the K are just going up. They're able to spend more. They're able to do better. And they're thriving financially, at least. They're probably miserable, lonely people on the inside, but financially they're thriving. So that's the idea behind the K-shaped economy. And Chris Cox was asked, hey, are there concerns about a K-shaped economy in the toying segment? And he said that 6 months ago, he would have said yes, that they might have been seeing weaker consumer behavior for expensive products, or he didn't say that exactly, but that might have been something that he was seeing that would have made him think 6 months ago that we were living in a K-shaped economy. But today he said no. Today he said products are strong and we are selling, and he didn't use these exact words, but he essentially said we are selling our expensive stuff. We are selling our inexpensive stuff. We are finding passionate buyers at every price level. And it's not clear to me or obvious that there's a K-shaped economy. It feels like everybody is doing just fine. What that is code for is that if you're upset about prices, I am sorry to tell you that Hasbro, at least on public television, is not giving any indication that there's concern about prices. If you think that $450 MSRP for a collector booster box is a little much, I do. Bad news, because it could potentially go up. It honestly wouldn't be that surprising in the next, year, like I'll call it now, but knock on wood, hopefully not, that we have elevated prices for Universes Beyond products. It would make sense if they raise the prices of Universes Within products to match Universes Beyond, and maybe even raise the price of everything. Because if they're not seeing the kind of pushback from the consumers, then I just don't know what there is to stop them. They have a monopoly. Wizards of the Coast has a monopoly on Magic the Gathering. And Magic the Gathering is an economic rent. I would consider it. Yes, it has competitors. Yes, people can go play Pokemans. Boo, Pokemon. But in reality, like, why am I here? Why are you here? It's because we like Magic the Gathering. And there's one company that controls all of it. And they have pricing power. They can't control everything. They can't print infinite boxes and charge infinite price. But they can choose to control one of those. And yes, they're going to try to, it seems like they're just going to try to print more and more and probably not elevate prices too much because there's no need. They already have strong margins on a product. And if they can just sell more of those and at a lower price, then that is likely what I imagine they're going to do. But just business is booming. Things are going well for Hasbro. If you wanted Universes Beyond to be a failure, if you wanted, if you felt like Wizards and Magic the Gathering has been going in a bad direction the past couple of years, I'm sorry to tell you, but that is not what they're experiencing. They're experiencing green flags. They're experiencing just anything and everything is telling them to keep doing what they're doing. So expect what they're doing to continue, which honestly, in my opinion, is pretty good because there hasn't been these ridiculous Amazon dumps. There hasn't been just at least the most egregious secret layer type behavior, in my opinion. Yes, it's secret layer on its face is like a little, I'll say iffy, where they're just entering the secondary market with custom cards and things like that. I mean, there's a lot of creativity in the secret layer products, but sometimes it's just like, you're printing a $30 card and charging $30. Very nice. Round of applause. But, you know, they haven't tried to do Magic 30th edition again. They haven't tried to charge $1,000 for 4 proxy booster packs, which granted, if that's the bar, it's a pretty low bar. But anyways, I think Wizards is doing well. I mean, obviously, objectively, they're doing well financially, but I think they're doing a good job managing Magic the Gathering. I wish they'd do an IP that I was really into. If we're going to do Universes Beyond, why can't we do, you know, Elden Ring or K-pop Demon Hunters or Dishonored? I would kill for a Dishonored. I would spend ungodly amounts of money. It's not gonna happen, but you know what, you know me. Anyway, good times, y'all. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and thanks again to my generous patrons, keeping the channel going. So thanks all. We'll see ya.